All right, Jermell Charlo versus Castano fight review. Charlo. It was a draw. That fight needed to be a draw. I'm not mad with that at all. For once, for me, that was the perfect decision. For once. Charlo didn't do enough to win. Castano didn't do enough to lose. So, with that being said, it's really hard to give it to either fighter. So, a draw is the best thing for this fight. Now, when it comes to Jermell Charlo gave away rounds. For once, Derrick James actually told him the right thing to do. And just like I said in my previous video, I said, work everything off the jab and this fight is yours. Derrick James told him the exact same thing in the corner. He said, we can beat him just off the jab alone. Like, the other stuff you're doing is unnecessary. But we can beat him off the jab alone. But that's funny as hell coming from Derrick James because it's his same style that got him in trouble. You know? But Derrick James is telling him to work everything off the jab. I was shocked. I was like, Derrick James is actually telling you the right thing to fucking do. And you're not listening. You're stuck in Derrick James fight mode. Like I said, it was fucking weird. But you needed to get out of it. He abandoned his jab very early in that fight. And I said, this fight could either be easy because of Jermell Charlo or it could be difficult. He chose the difficult route. He abandoned his damn jab. All he had to do was keep that stick in his face. That's all. He could have won just off that alone. But he didn't want to do that. Then at some point, he got Castano in trouble. I'm like, okay, he getting ready to knock this kid out. Then he completely let him off the hook. I was like, okay, maybe he feels that he's hurt, but he's not ready to go yet, so he wants to chop more at that tree. Then he got him in trouble again and couldn't finish him and couldn't get him out of there. I was like, that's why you should take advantage of the first time you get somebody in trouble. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, pace yourself out. Don't be overzealous. But, you know, I was like, damn, why is he letting him off the hook? He totally left this dude off the hook. Then he gets to this point where he wants to go against the back, where he wants to put his back up against the ropes and think he can sit over there and slip punches. That's where he caught majority of those punches against the damn rope. And he kept going against the rope and he stayed there like he was comfortable and he wanted to be there. But that's where he was catching majority of them punches. And then rolling down in front of him and coming up and catching hooks and uppercuts and shit like that. I like that. I don't know what the fuck that was. That was totally foreign to me. You know, but he did have Castano in trouble. Now, Castano had the more cleaner, obvious crowd-catching punches. He did. Jermell had some too, but the way his stuff looks, it captures more attention. But they both was landing haymakers, don't get me wrong, but his was a little bit more attractive. Okay? So, a lot of people would want to give it to Castano, and I wouldn't be mad. I just don't think it was quite enough to beat the champion, but it was enough for him not to lose. That's why I say a draw seems to be the perfect scenario in this situation because neither one could really close the deal on each other. That's just the truth. You know? And it's so close, it's a matter of perspective now. Now, would I give it to Charlo? No, I wouldn't give it to Charlo. Would I give it to Castano? No, I wouldn't give it to Castano. But if I had to pick somebody to give it to, I think I'm going to go with Castano. But I don't think he did enough, you know what I'm saying, to be the champ. Neither one did enough. I mean, let's just be honest. I can't really go with either one of them. Neither one really couldn't cancel the show. But I know Jermell Charlo had the chance and the opportunity, and he abandoned it. I know he abandoned his jab. I know he kept his ass against the rope. I know he gave away rounds. I know all those things. So, yes, a draw. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be at the end of the day. But the crazy thing is, like I said, like, you think you planting your feet, that's not going to carry you through the fight. And the crazy thing is, Derrick James actually told him what to do, and he was right. And for once, he didn't fucking do it. Derrick told you to keep that damn stick in his face. Keep that stick. Every time you abandon the stick, that's when you got lit up. He don't close the gap with no jab. He's right there for the taking. The fight was actually yours. But nonetheless, and it's the one thing I say about the Derrick James style and what I see in Derrick James fighters. They don't know how to adjust. I keep saying that. He don't teach fighters how to adjust. They need to, Jermell, Errol, they all need to learn how to adjust. They don't have that capability. They want to keep going with that gun-ho style and get themselves into further trouble at the end of the day. But they definitely need to run that back. It's unfortunate that he couldn't close the deal on something like that. And actually for either one. But quiet is kept. You really can't give it to either guy. Because even though I lean towards Castano, was that enough to strip and beat the champion of all his? No, it wasn't. Same thing with Jermell Charlo. Did you do enough to actually strap that belt around your waist, become undisputed? No, you didn't. Both you guys got to go do it again. So one time they picked a draw that I'm not fucking mad. And if anybody out there is hollering robbery, tell them to shut the fuck up. That's a clear indication that they don't know shit about boxing. Anybody hollering robbery is boxing. When close fights are around, you can't holler no fucking robbery because it can sway either way. Please don't start that baby babble bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Both of these guys did a good job. Jermell Charlo made a lot of fucking mistakes in that ring, and I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. But nonetheless, if a draw was not an option, and they say, Bruce, you have to pick one. Man, I really can't do it. I want to say Castano, but I just remember Jermell putting him on Wobbly Street. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. I'm going to say Castano. You know what I'm saying? Charlo, I really want to say you, but I got to be real. I can't. And this is if I have to pick one, I'm going to have to go with Castano. Just from, the aesthetics part of it. And even let me see who owned ring generalship. Let me think about it. Who owned ring generalship? I think Castano owned ring generalship. I think he did. Charlo only backed him up so much. Charlo didn't establish his jab in the beginning, and that was a huge part of his problem. It's very basic shit that stopped him from getting the victory, and it's such a fucking shame. Jermell need to get back to boxing. He came in a pure boxer, then he fell in love with this power, and if you ask me, it declined his skill set to me. That power ain't everything, man. That power wasn't gonna fucking catch you. He had power too, and he had a chin too, you know. So at least that's one thing you give Charlo, man. You not chinny, bro. You know what I'm saying? I give you that, but he knows that he's in a fortunate position. But run that back. It was a good little fight. Some adjustments need to be made. You need to get undrunk off that damn power, because you and Errol Spensky talking about power. Y'all need to be talking about skill set. You need to be talking about skill set. You need to be talking about punch setups. You need to be talking about traps. You need to be talking about adjustments mid-fight. That's what y'all need to be talking about on. Because had you had the ability to do that, man, like I said, it was his fight. And Derrick James, for once, actually told you the right thing to do. You just went in there and did the Derrick James. Oddly enough. Anyways, that's my thoughts. I'm out.